everyone, Marty here, and today we're going to be making books for a library. I have been working on a tower out of cardboard for a castle to go with my other castle sets, which I will insert here. And I asked on Instagram what I should make the rooms into, and Softpaws LPS suggested that I make a library. So I'm going to make a library / study. And so the next few DIYs I do will be of making books or desk or shelves or, you know, anything that would go in a library, a medieval library. So if you have any ideas for that, leave them in the comments down below, pretty please. And while you're down there commenting, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ha ha ha. And without further ado, let's get right into the craft. Okay, for the center of the books, there's lots of things you can use. You can use these jumbo popsicle sticks. Just cut them to the right size and stack a few up and then paint them white. And that'll work. Or you can use cardboard. What I prefer to use is this foam board that you get for super cheap. And since I'm making a library, I cut quite a few. Actually, I cut more than that. I cut a whole lot. I'm filling a library, so I've got lots. And I cut them all in different sizes. So like this one's bigger, this one's smaller, and then I have some like long thin ones. I got some little square one. Whoa. Some little square ones. So if you're filling a library, I would suggest to cut a whole bunch of different shapes and sizes, because books are all different shapes and sizes. And I like using the foam board because then I don't have to go and paint the pages white if the pages are going to show. If your pages aren't going to show, it doesn't matter. But so that's that. Okay, for books that I want to open, there's several different things I do. This is a piece of paper, clearly, from a book, again, clearly, that I've ripped out. It wasn't a good book, and it wasn't a book that anyone needed. So, what I do is I'm going to cut all the blank parts off, so I just have the writing part, if that made any sense at all. And I take my ruler and I line it up, and then take my knife and slice it. I'm going to do that off camera because it's hard to see around the camera while I do this. I don't know what that was. Okay, once you've got all the edges, the blank edges cut off, like I said, save these because we're going to make something out of them later. But then I go through and decide how big I want my book to be. And I have one of these clear rulers. I'm sure you guys have seen it in videos before. It works the best for finding where I want my pages to be. So then I do that. When I decide how big, I go through and cut strips, which I've already done. Then I take my strips and I fold them like this. You can either fold them or you can cut them if you want to, but I fold them. So then my book is going to be this big by this wide. But if you want it to be a different size, you can always like fold it smaller or bigger or however you want your book to be. So then go ahead and fold all these up. Okay, and once you've got all your pieces folded, stack them together, making sure that the words are all facing the same way. And when you fold them up, you'll see that you've got, if you put it together this way, you'll only have 2 opening pages, but if you put it together this way, you'll have more. So I try to do it that way when I put them together. And then you take a binder clip like this, or any clasp will work, but I find the binder clips work the best. So you line them up, and you put it in here, sort of squish it all in there like that. The reason I find the binder clip works the best is because it's got this flat back, so I can tuck all the pages in and then have this flat area here. And that is where you glue it. So I've got my tacky glue here and my little craft stick here. I get some glue on there, and then I put it on the edge of the back of the pages. Like so. And you want to make sure that you've got all your pages, all the back of the pages covered, because then they won't come apart once you get this text block put together. So you also want your glue to be flat when you're done, so you don't want any bumpy parts. So go through and smooth it out, and then set that aside to dry. Okay, now once you've got a block that is dry, you'll have a spine and all your papers will be together. Now if you don't want to cut up a book, or you don't have a book to cut up, you can always do this with blank printer paper. And it's done exactly the same way. This is a thicker book, but that's what I'm saying. You want to make your books different sizes. You'll see how like this one's a little shorter, this one's a little taller, and this one's fat. This one's for Cozy because she's doing she needed a book for Professor Vasquez. So that's her book. But then you want to cut a strip of colored paper out that's going to be your outside of your book. I've painted part of this to make it look kind of different, but you can do it however you want. So then you're going to measure like this, and then you're going to fold. Okay, then you fold it, and this is going to make the spine of your book be crisp. Wait, I use this one. And then put it back on. Find out where the other spot is going to be and fold that. And put it back together. Oops, get your knuckle out of the camera. And then find what you do with your scissors. There they are. Then come in and cut it. And then we're going to glue it in. So I open it up and I use a glue stick. And I just put some glue on it. Make sure you get it on the spine. And then you fumble around with it for a minute. Then you put your spine in and put it together. Like so. Put a little bit of pressure on the spine to make sure it is good and down. Put some weight on it. And then you have a book, and you'll see that the 2 pages are glued in. And then just let that dry. Okay, and then when you're making the book with the blanks, you can make them different thicknesses by just gluing 2 together, or 20 together, however you want to do it. But I'm just going to do 2. Make a little book. So you want to make sure you got 2 that are kind of the same size. You can see here, because if you've watched any of my videos, you know I can't make a straight cut for some reason. But glue those together. Then you can take your cover page and do exactly the same thing that we did before. Okay, and then you have a book that is pretty thick and done. Okay, another way to do this is to take your 2 blocks of foam board, and you're not going to glue them together. You're just going to glue them into the cover like you would have if you glued them together. That way the book will open and you'll have 2 thick sides of the paper. So let me do that real quick. So now once you got those glued in, just like you would if you glued the 2 foam boards together, and then you can have it like sitting opened, or be able to be opened, and it's still, you didn't have to go through all the effort of cutting and folding actual paper to go in it. Okay, now we're going to take our strip that we took off of the book earlier, and we're going to take 2, I almost call them popsicle sticks, 2 cocktail sticks, and some tacky glue. Forgot what it's called there for a second. You could also use Elmer's glue for this, but tacky glue is stronger. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper and whatever you're using to spread your glue, which I'm using a craft stick here, and you're going to put a little glue on the edge of your paper. You could also use a glue stick for this, but again, tacky glue is stronger, so that's why I use it. Then you're going to place your toothpick on your paper. It doesn't have to be centered. If you're going to have like a lot on each end, like I'm going to trim it up so it doesn't have to be centered, but if you're doing it to not cut your popsicle stick, then you're going to want it to be centered. Then you're going to roll it up like so. I'm going to add a little bit more glue, just like that. And you don't want to make the glue too thick, because then it'll take forever to dry. And you just want to roll it slowly so that you can keep it straight. And then on the other end, you're going to do the same thing. And then if you want to make it so you can unroll the scroll, let those two sides dry and then roll it together. If you're going to glue it together so that they can unroll it, then let those two sides dry and then roll it together and put glue on it. So, roll it up and then roll this end up. Get back in the camera. And I try to keep both sides pretty even when I'm rolling them, but sometimes it doesn't quite work out. Then, like, if you let go of it like that, it'll kind of look like this, and that can be kind of cool. And then you can like glue it however you want it to be. So I'm gonna roll it back, and then wherever you want your thing to end, just put a little string of glue there. And then roll it over top of it and hold it till it dries. I've got these cutters for cutting popsicle sticks that my dad gave me. But you can use scissors. Of course, it will dull your scissors quite a bit. And you can use toenail clippers, but of course that'll dull your clippers a bit too. So, whatever you want to use. And then there you go. You've got a scroll. You can also add beads or stuff to the end of these popsicle sticks if you want to. You can also, if you've got little bits sticking up, you can sand them down. But there you go. Okay, now, once you've got a bunch of books made, when you put them in a shelf, you'll notice that all of your books are going to look kind of similar in the fact that they're all just plain bookends, which that actually looks kind of nice. But also you can do different stuff, like here's a jumbo book that I made with some gold and galaxy looking scrapbook paper. I made a smaller one out of the same paper. But I like to find things that will make the spines look cool for when they're going to be on a bookcase. Like that. So what I do is I just take some craft paint. And for the ones that are going to be on, that are just going to be on a shelf, I like to just worry about what the spines look like. So I'll take a toothpick or a paintbrush, but right now I'm doing a toothpick because I want it to be thin. You can also use a marker or a crayon or pencil. You could use whatever you want. I'm not the boss of you. But just sort of decorate your spines a little bit so that they look a little bit different from each other. And of course, just like cutting a straight line, I can't draw a straight line either, apparently. But you get the point. So then you have some different looking spines. And use different colors and do different things. On books that are going to be laying out, I had Cozy draw me this gold leaf, and she put some fanciness on the spine too. And this is one of them that opens up and has words inside. So, although I just realized that she painted the leaf on it upside down. That's okay though. It's still cool. I mean, it'd still look good like this on the back of the book. But it's still cool. I like it. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that DIY, and now that I've got a nice little stack of books, I think I need a shelf. So I think that'll be what I do for the next DIY. And I hope you will all come and join me for the party of shelf making. Sure, let's go with that. And I hope you all remember to check out our Instagrams and our Etsy shop, where you can buy these hoodies and other stuff. And check out our Redbubble shop if you're into LPS photography merch. Some new designs will be coming out soon. And also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know what that was. Don't forget to stay weird, because it adds color to the world. And nobody wants to live in a black and white world. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Bye.